Nah, you sound like a bitch who I kicked out. I ain't trying to hear none of that mental health shit, boy. Hey, you know how that shit turn out. You wrote my hoe. I ain't tell you nothing, bitch. I told your hoe something. This bitch ass nigga wanna at me. Man, I ain't tell your bitch ass. I ain't tell your botched ass nigga when you play with my hoe. I just post your bitch. Keep that thing gangster. Then go back and play with my wife, man. That ain't no bitch. That ain't that bitch that you fake pimping. No, man. I don't want to talk. I ain't your friend. I ain't none of that, you bitch. None.
We're diving into how Memphis rapper Finesse2Tymes just sparked up one of the wildest tensions in hip-hop again with NBA Youngboy, and this whole thing is packed with messy drama that won't slow down for nobody. This situation got DM moves, family threats, weapons being flashed, and a recent drunk live stream that brought every old issue right back into the spotlight with a loud crash. So grab your snacks, lock in, and let's unpack this chaotic ride. The original tension between Finesse2Tymes and NBA Youngboy came from something that happens way too often in this industry: attention over a woman. Finesse explained that he had been hitting like on pictures of one of Youngboy's former partners on TikTok, saying he was just being smooth and appreciating a beautiful woman, nothing deeper. But in a world where reputation is everything and even a tiny move online gets magnified, those likes hit a nerve. Youngboy took those actions as pure disrespect toward him and his status, and what made it even heavier was the moment it happened. Youngboy was stuck on house arrest in Utah, isolated, stressed, and way more reactive to anything that felt like someone was trying him. So when he found out about Finesse liking those posts, he didn't keep it private or quiet. He jumped on social media and fired off his feelings in the most public way possible.
Nasty, man. You just ran for nothing, just eating balls, gooch, ass, legs, toes, eating that young. And you sit up and talking about why be better, cuz. All that trolling, my nigga gonna pick your ass up by your shirt when they see you.
He said, "Ain't none of that, bitch, none of that," blasting the situation out for the whole timeline to see and instantly turning a small spark into a wildfire. But Youngboy didn't stop at calling out Finesse directly. He stepped across a major line by bringing family into it, which goes against every long-standing street rule out there. He posted on Instagram saying he would hit your mama with that chopper, which is a direct threat towards someone who had nothing to do with any of this drama. That kind of talk is considered way out of bounds, and the moment he said it, the whole situation shifted into a dangerous zone that nobody could ignore. Bringing someone's mother into a conflict instantly flips the whole thing from talking tough to something that can turn deadly fast. The moment Youngboy dragged Finesse's mother into the mix, it showed he was ready to push past every normal boundary just to prove a point. And things got even more heated when Finesse's brother, No Love, saw those threats aimed at their family. No Love wasn't about to let something that serious slide, because when family honor gets touched, the whole tone changes. He jumped on social media and fired back with sharp words toward Youngboy's people, turning what started as a personal issue into full-blown family tension between Memphis and Baton Rouge. Folks began asking, what actually happened between you and Youngboy and his crew? And the streets were waiting for answers with serious energy. What happened next showed how fast online drama can spill into the real world and get dangerous for real. No Love ended up in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, deep inside enemy territory, taking care of personal business, not even thinking he'd run into anyone connected to this situation. But by sheer coincidence, he crossed paths with a member of NBA Youngboy's crew as he was leaving a building. The affiliate was easy to recognize because he was shining with that expensive NBA chain, so there was no mistaking who he rolled with. The tension hit instantly when the crew member asked No Love if he was the one talking reckless about their people online. And No Love, standing on his street reputation, didn't fold for a second. He confirmed everything he said, staying solid without backing up or showing the slightest weakness. The affiliate tried to act bold, but the way his jaw kept shaking exposed, he wasn't nearly as confident as he wanted to look.
Actually happened between you and Youngboy and his crew?
Man, when this first popped off, you know, he was actually beefing with Finesse2Tymes.
Youngboy.
Yeah, they were having words about some shit, you know what I'm saying, online. And Youngboy jumped up off the couch and, you know, he was like, I hit your mama with that chopper.
That nervous twitch said everything before he even opened his mouth. The tension flipped fast when he said he was going to grab something from his car, and everybody knew exactly what that meant. He was going for a weapon. No Love watched calmly as the man came back holding an AR-15, standing on the curb like he was ready to make a scene while throwing out threats about handling No Love for Youngboy. In the middle of all that, the affiliate tried talking tough with, "Ain't you fine?" But it didn't shake No Love at all. He fired back with, "Shit don't scare me, man," showing he wasn't rattled one bit. Even with a powerful weapon pointed at him, No Love stayed completely steady, like he'd been here before because he truly had. He later explained that moments like this weren't new to him, and he'd even had family members point weapons at him during old disputes, so fear wasn't something that took over his mind anymore. What he learned from those experiences is that people who really plan to use a weapon don't waste time talking, they act. This affiliate kept hesitating, throwing out threats, and showing he wasn't familiar with real danger, and that hesitation exposed everything.
So I'm looking at him, I'm looking in his face, his jaw shaking. You hear me? His jaw shaking while he talking. He don't even know what to do, so he kind of sagging. So I'm looking at his waist, and I'm at my whip, shit like this. So I open the back door up. When he asked me like, you the one that said this shit about my people, I stood on it right there. I'm like, yeah, nigga, I said what I said. Nigga said what they said about mine.
After several tense seconds, No Love walked away untouched, fully aware that if the guy had truly been dangerous, that whole encounter would have gone a completely different direction. This whole situation exposed a major gap between the way Youngboy's crew presents themselves online and how ready they actually are when real confrontation pulls up in their face. But what shocked everybody was that this near-deadly moment didn't spark a war. It led to unexpected peace instead. Finesse later revealed that he and Youngboy ended up talking through mutual industry connections who stepped in behind the scenes to cool things down. Once they finally communicated, both of them realized the truth. Going back and forth over a woman, someone who was always going to make her own decisions, wasn't worth risking their freedom or their lives. Finesse showed real maturity by agreeing to remove the social media posts that kicked everything off in the first place. He reminded folks that he's a player, not someone who loses control or gets emotional over situations involving women, and that the drama never needed to get that serious. Both rappers came to understand that dragging this beef out wasn't going to build anything positive for either of them, so they officially shut it down and moved forward with their careers like grown men. And the peace actually held strong for months, which nobody expected. But things took a turn again when Finesse jumped on a live stream recently while clearly not in the best state of mind. He looked irritated, loose, and not fully focused, which made everything he said hit even harder on camera. The issue started when fans flooded the chat with YB Better messages, a trolling move NBA Youngboy supporters love to use just to get reactions out of other rappers. At first, Finesse tried to brush it off and keep talking about whatever topic he was on, but the non-stop wave of those YB Better posts kept pouring in. The constant trolling started breaking down his patience little by little, and you could see the frustration building on his face as the comments refused to stop. His patience was slipping fast, and the frustration on his face made it clear he couldn't understand why people kept dragging Youngboy into the chat when he was trying to talk about something completely different. The non-stop trolling was doing exactly what the fans wanted, poking at him until he finally snapped. As the comments kept rolling in, Finesse started firing back at the trolls with personal jokes and wild descriptions, showing how deep the constant comparisons to Youngboy were getting under his skin. The more he talked, the more his behavior shifted, and it became obvious the intoxication was taking control of the moment, not him. He drifted into random topics, even talking about toothbrushes and bathroom routines, which showed just how out of it he really was. His girlfriend could be seen in the background, and their interaction brought even more tension into the live stream. The way they were going back and forth showed they were already dealing with some issues, and the live stream just made everything look messier. Finesse started complaining about being handed a purple toothbrush when he wanted a different color, proving the alcohol was making tiny things feel huge in his mind. Watching the scene unfold in real time felt uncomfortable because the live stream wasn't just showing a tipsy moment. It was exposing relationship stress that should have stayed private. At one point, he started rating his levels of anger from 1 through 5, saying he was sitting at a level 4, which he described as the stage when things ain't right and his finger gets activated. His girlfriend looked fed up, and their back and forth made it clear the tension had been building even before he went live. Thousands of people were watching them argue in real time, adding even more pressure to a situation already on edge. Everything hit a turning point when someone in the chat brought up T.I.'s recent comments toward NBA Youngboy. T.I., another well-known Memphis figure, had been in his own back and forth with Youngboy, and the mention of that drama instantly flipped the energy in the live stream again. When Finesse heard people bringing up T.I.'s situation with Youngboy, something clicked in his intoxicated mind and pulled him right back into his own history with Youngboy. Instead of staying out of T.I.'s conflict like he normally would, Finesse let the moment pull him in, choosing to stand beside his Memphis partner on live in front of thousands. He started talking about how Memphis artists should stick together and never fold for anybody, clearly sending shots toward Youngboy and his Louisiana crew. This was the moment everything shifted, because Finesse had always shown he was smart enough to avoid jumping into someone else's drama. But the mix of alcohol, trolling, and past emotions pushed him off that path. He began saying things he probably would have never said if he was sober, letting the liquor guide his reactions instead of logic. As the live dragged on, he started questioning Youngboy's image as a street player, bringing up their past issues and throwing shade at Youngboy's behavior. He said real street men don't get emotional over women, making it sound like Youngboy wasn't living the lifestyle he raps about. The irony was thick in the air because the entire beef between them originally started over exactly that, a woman. But Finesse flipped the story, trying to make Youngboy look like he was the one acting weak and emotional in the past situation. Finesse even brought up Youngboy's own lyrics, where he talks about being slim enough to make women bring money home, pointing out how Youngboy's reaction over social media likes didn't match the confident player image he puts in his music. He basically said that if Youngboy was truly the player he portrayed himself as, he wouldn't have gotten upset just because another man thought his former partner looked good online. As the live stream continued, Finesse's tone kept getting sharper and more hostile, especially toward the non-stop "why be better" trolls filling his comments. The more they pushed, the more heated his responses became, and the entire stream turned into a spiral of frustration, pride, and old tension resurfacing. Finesse started calling out individual commenters one by one, throwing sharp insults and questioning their toughness like he was ready to battle anyone in the chat. His anger kept climbing, and his rants got more intense and detailed as he went on. He even accused some of them of using things in embarrassing ways, trying to paint them as weak just to show how deep the trolling had gotten under his skin. He also made it clear he wasn't scared of anything that might come from this renewed tension. Finesse said straight up that he would rather lose his life than let someone disrespect him, and he added that he wasn't going out over no bitch, meaning he wasn't going to let drama involving women be the thing that destroys him. That moment stood out because it showed he was mentally prepared for whatever came next, no matter how serious things might get. Then he shifted the conversation to money, making sure people knew he wasn't struggling or reaching for attention. Finesse said he charges $250,000 for a feature and made it clear his pockets are straight. This sounded like a response to anyone accusing him of using Youngboy's name for clout. He wanted it known that his renewed aggression wasn't coming from financial stress or career problems. What makes this whole reignited conflict even more interesting is the situation both artists are in right now. Youngboy is still stuck on house arrest, which limits how he can move and how freely he can respond. On the other hand, Finesse is fully outside, dropping music, growing his name, and trying to level up in the rap game. That contrast made some people wonder if he was intentionally pulling Youngboy into the spotlight again to strengthen his own position, a theory that has plenty of folks debating. The Memphis versus Baton Rouge tension adds a whole extra layer to this situation because now it's not just personal, it's regional pride on the line. Memphis has always had a strong culture of standing together, defending their own, and showing unity when outsiders get involved. So when Finesse started talking about Memphis unity, he was tapping straight into that mindset, calling on a well-known expectation of loyalty and support within the city. T.I. jumping into things only made the whole situation more layered. His own issues with Youngboy gave Finesse a reason to slide back into the conflict while claiming he was standing up for his city instead of chasing an old argument. It let him frame the whole thing as loyalty rather than a personal grudge reopening. The alcohol factor played a huge part here too, because intoxication takes away the mental breaks that keep people from saying things they know they shouldn't. Finesse, when he was sober, handled the original beef with maturity and ended it the smart way. But the drunk version of him couldn't ignore the trolling, the taunting, and the adrenaline, and that opened the door for everything to flare back up in public. Now that things have been stirred again, there are still big questions floating around. Will Youngboy decide to respond to Finesse's new comments, Or will he stay focused on his legal situation and ignore the noise? Will Finesse hold on to this aggressive stance once he's fully sober, or will he try to backtrack and calm things down after realizing how far the live stream went? And then there's the long-term effect. How will all of this impact their careers, their public image, and their relationships in the industry? What this moment really shows is that in the world of social media, conflicts never stay buried for long. All it takes is trolling, miscommunication, or one bad moment on live stream, and the past comes roaring back to life. Finesse2Tymes just proved that even artists who try to move smart can get pulled right back into chaos with one impulsive decision. If you want more breakdowns like this, make sure you like, subscribe, share, and drop a comment. And I'll catch you in the next one.